Those are little. Put them towards the center of the trim. It's for their safety. Most importantly, it's for my peace of mind. And we've got someone very special on board today. His name is Mike. He's our driver. Everyone say hi, Mike. Right. Oh, I'm going to make that nice. All the way back, Mike. Excellent. All right, guys, hang in there because any moment we're going to be heading out of here. Celebrity co-host. You might remember him from Saturday Night Live. Or even the Tonight Show starring Jimmy Fallon, and that's because it's Jimmy Fallon. Take it away, Jim.
Oh, hey there. You made it. Welcome to the Universal Studio Tour. I'm Jimmy Fallon. I'll be making sure that you get through this experience in one piece. You've got the very best guide.
Michael!
And the greatest driver.
Hi!
You're the best. I love that. Even though
Michael!
both me $5.
Hey, what?
I know you guys are excited to get on the tour, but first, a few safety rules.
That's right, Jimmy. Thank you. You do have some safety rules to go over. First and foremost, if you need any sort of assistance due to a medical emergency, something really important falls off the side of the tram, or you lose audio and visual altogether, then pull that red cord right above your head. That is our emergency cord. The tram will stop, and I'll come back and help you out as soon as it's safe for me to do so. Otherwise, do remain seated at all times, leaving your arms and legs inside the vehicle. We are heading out to public property right now, folks, so do make sure to stay on the vehicle unless instructed otherwise. There's no smoking of any kind on our tour today, and guys, do be prepared, because our tours feature things like loud noises, pyrotechnics, sudden tram movements, and even water effects. Good rule of thumb, if you're sitting in a blue seat, you're probably going to get wet.
Oh shit.
Luckily, not everyone is in a blue seat. In fact, Mike and I, we're sitting in black seats, so do not worry about us, guys. We are perfectly fine, but I do appreciate the concern. Right now, we're leaving the Think Bar behind, going to an actual real-life television and movie studio. Big Hollywood types come to work every single day. It's not just Mike and I talking in here. But right now, we're going down the Universal movie timeline. We'll celebrate the history of our studio. As we do, take a look to your left and right. You're going to see a few classic original movie posters. You might even see a few blockbusters that you saw in theaters. And everything that you see here was started by a gentleman named Carl Lumbly. You're going to see him right here on your screen in the bow tie. Carl Lumbly founded Universal Studios as we know it back in 1912 in New York City. Eventually moving on here to LA, opening up our doors March 15th, 1915. And he came out here from New York because in LA we've got all this beautiful space and the sunshine. It's a lot easier to film when you've got room and cold weather. Instead of New York. New York's great, but not great for filming. And what he did is he founded a place called Universal City. And that's where we are right now. And we're an actual city. We have our very own zip code, our own phone code. We've got 2 Starbucks, a coffee beer. You get your shoe signed here, your clothes cleaned. We even used to have a DMV that was over 2 days a month. Didn't help anybody out. And most importantly, we have a firehouse. Take a look to your right hand side. It's Fire Station 51. That is not a movie set, that is the real deal. In fact, it's probably the last real thing you guys are going to see for the next 45 minutes, if I'm honest with you. Now, Fire Station 51, they get their name from a show that was back in the 70s. If you watched NBC back then, you might remember a show called Emergency. They had Fire Station 51, that's where it got its name. But some modern shows use those as well. Right now on NBC Chicago Fire, they can't use Fire Station 51, it's their firehouse for that show. After the TV show Friends used 51. Do you guys remember the episode where Rachel burned down Phoebe's apartment because she fire station on her? Fire Station 51 came to the rescue. And here in our city, we have teenager.
So I was thrilled when Universal invited me back to Skull Island, and it's great to have you along for the ride. Now we have created this 3D immersive experience, so you're going to have your glasses ready. Don't put them on yet, just have them in your hand because we're about to return to Skull Island.
That's right, folks. We're about to return to Skull Island. And before we do, I want to remind you to remain seated at all times. If you have any loose articles like a book bag, sunglasses, or a small child, that would be a good time to secure those as things are about to get bumpy.
The Universal tram is winding its way through a very rough, narrow trail in Skull Island, allowing the visitors a little sneak peek at some of the wildlife in Skull Island.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, sit back, relax, and enjoy your journey back to Skull Island. folks who go to take off those 3D glasses, do hang on to them though. Leave them a little later, and do remain seated at all times. And if you need any sort of assistance, pull that red coat. I'll pop back and help you out as soon as I can. But this whole area, Six Points, Texas, a lot of really cool things filmed here. Most recently, one of my favorite movies to shoot back here was Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, directed by Quentin Tarantino, starred Leonardo DiCaprio and Brad Pitt. If you watched that movie, you might remember some of these sets because this is where Leo's TV show and the movie he was in later in the film did a lot of their sequences. All they had to do was change the camera angle slightly so that you, the audience, would recognize that you were actually in the same exact spot for two different locations in the film. Now, this is what Six Points, Texas usually looks like when it's being used for film. I was here just the other day, and they left some of their equipment so we can even look at it. I'm going to tell you exactly what it's used for on a set. So up front on your left-hand side, we have what's called Video Village. That's the director and the producer are going to hang out and watch us being shot on those two monitors, see if they like it, if they want to do another couple of shots, they can do that. The camera is always called a dolly track. Anytime you see the camera really smoothly moving in one direction, it's usually something like that. It's operated by 3 or 4 different camera operators. Up front, on the left-hand side, we've got hair and makeup, and my favorite part of the set, crafty. That's all the creatures. You're going to find a good amount of crew members there. Not so much the actors, though, because actors have to maintain their body weight throughout the entirety of the film, sometimes 4 to 5 months. So usually they're going to have a prepared meal brought to their chair just to make sure they don't have too much sugar or... Inside of them, and they film it. Okay, don't worry. George is trained with underwater combat machines. He has all the tools he needs. He's going to be perfectly fine. Never mind, he is not good. Oh no. You owe me money. Alright, Mike, let's talk about these gas barrels. Let me see if here. And we're doing some bait in the barrel out there. If the shark takes the bait, we're alright. If not, we'll need a bigger shrimp. Everyone's taking the bait. And the hook here, that is not good.
Ang init ah.
Side of the street. This is Colonial Street over here, better known as Wisteria Lane. That is where the Desperate Housewives filmed for 8 very successful years. It's also where Mindy Kaling filmed her newest show, Never Have I Ever, and where the greatest actor in the entire world, Tom Hanks, filmed The Burbs. But right now, we're driving up Greens Road. There's something very special about this particular street. So on either side of us, we got trees. And I know that might sound kind of weird to say, but it's very rare for a studio to have this amount of nature on their backline. Usually, a movie studio is going to fill every square inch with sound stages because that's where the bulk of filming happens. But we have this area so that we can do hiking and camping sequences. It can be really difficult to film in the middle of the woods, but a lot easier to film here. All you gotta do in this area is pitch a tent right up there, light a fire, and now you're camping in the Angeles Forest. It's that easy. Or if you want to go for a hike, and if you look at the back, you're gonna see a hearse. That is Beetlejuice's hearse from the movie Beetlejuice. And if you think about it, Beetlejuice is kind of a bad guy. And he is parked right behind the worst guy. And that, of course, is Norman Bates. Two of the most famous sets still standing in old Hollywood. This is the Bates Motel on your right from Psycho 2. And the original house from Psycho, just on top of the hill. We're going to drive right next to Mother's house. Now, Mother's house is what we call a shell. It's our third type of set. It's just 4 walls, and that's it. There's nothing inside it. And then if you open up the front door, you'd find absolutely nothing. Unless you make your way to the second floor, where you might see Mother in her rocking chair. Steven Spielberg's 2005 film, War of the Worlds. What you folks are looking at right now is a real-life Boeing 747. This is a real plane. It cost filmmakers $60,000 to purchase and was destroyed for this one scene right here on your screens.
The airplane press site set is a perfect example of a set that is all designed around the vision that Steven had.
When we first began to sit down to talk about War of the Worlds, I thought, what if the 747 goes down right in a big neighborhood? Because it's just something you don't see.
You're doing good. You're doing good. Listen to me. Listen to me, okay? Listen, I want you to close your eyes, okay? Now closed.
It includes this little cabin you see right here. Now, you've seen this cabin in a lot of productions. You saw it in Deja Vu, starring Denzel Washington, Shoot with Mark Wahlberg, The Great Outdoors, the Desperate Housewives series, and also Deja Vu, starring Denzel Washington. Thank you. Not everyone hears that. I appreciate that. Now, my favorite part, the really cool part, is that big blue wall back there. We can flood that area to do water sequences, like in Bruce Almighty. He was walking on the water. That's where he was walking. Or in The Truman Show, when he was on the sailboat and then walks out, takes the bow. That's where he did it. Also, Dunkirk filmed over there. The scene where the boats were capsizing, the guys were trying to climb back in. They filmed that out there. And they shot an incredible movie over there that starred the greatest actor in the entire world, Tom Hanks. How'd you know?